I have a bit of a problem with the word blog, and a lot of people starting to mention it because when people hear the word blog, they think of a troubled 14-year-old girl writing a blog, like a diary sort of thing, stuck in her bedroom.
Look at what the industry's doing, and then take it, do it 10 times better. If you're looking to do some lead generation, then ebooks is a good option. Welcome back to another podcast, and today we're going to be talking about inbound marketing, content marketing. Dennis, do you want to start this one off?
Yeah, sure. So again, this is a bit of a Q&A. We've asked some lovely people to ask us some questions that
Thanks
they
for the
want to hear
questions. If
about.
you want to ask any more questions, just leave them below, or
Yeah,
send us a message. Really, really open, and want to open up a conversation and dialogue with you. So
100%. Yeah.
send a message.
So literally going back to the basics. People said, "What is a blog, and why do I actually need one?"
Yeah, so blogging, it's probably one of the most old-fashioned methods of online content marketing, right? But yeah, it's still really effective, and it's a great way to build authority, and getting ranked in search engines too. Everyone consumes information differently, right? So
100%. Yeah.
and you don't necessarily have to have a blog on your own website. You can write on things like LinkedIn, Medium, or another way to actually get further exposure to do guest blog posting and things like that. So
That's where I have a bit of
blogging's
a problem with the word blog. I have nothing against blogging. We use it all the time and we recommend it to our clients, but I have a bit of a problem with the word blog, and a lot of people starting to mention it because when people hear the word blog, they think of a troubled 14-year-old girl writing a blog, like a diary sort of thing, stuck in her bedroom, right? People think of that as a blog because that's how blogging started. People just started writing. It's like a diary,
venting.
and venting their frustrations or whatever, putting it online, whether anonymous or not. That's how blogging started. Then people actually started utilizing it into and monetizing it in various ways. So that's why I think that there's a skewed perception of what a blog is. People think that when they have a blog they have to be spreading gossip or anything like that. That's not true. All a blog is a piece of written content that you provide some value in your area of expertise, and it can reap rewards in many ways. So blogging, we use blogging mainly for SEO purposes.
I see.
To
Authority as well.
authority pieces as well, yeah. But in terms of tangible results, we were able to rank certain blogs about certain topics with certain keywords, so that they appear high up on Google, and then from there, drive traffic to the website. But like you said, the exposure of it as well. So if you're an expert in HR, write a blog about HR. Write an article about HR, and then publish it on. I mean, these days you can publish blogs and articles on Facebook, LinkedIn, even Instagram. I believe there's Instagram long form captions.
Yeah.
You can write a blog or an article in an Instagram caption.
Yeah.
So a blog doesn't have to be this sort of skewed, weird thing on a fluffy website that has no value. Think of it as an article, same as you would record a video about a certain topic.
Yeah. I think again, it's just an authority thing as well. So like when people visit our website through service pages, for example, people want to know that you know what you're talking about, really.
100%.
So we spend a lot of time building up the content on our website, and again, it's just another way of presenting information, isn't it? And it's things that you can just sit and read on the train. Like, you don't have to concentrate as much as on a video, maybe, because there's more things going on, and it's just text. But yeah, I think it's a really valuable way, and it's free. It's completely free.
Absolutely. And a lot of people prefer reading to watching videos still these days. I mean, video is king. Podcasting is on the rise, but I think that written word will never die, and I think print. People say print is dying out. That's not true. For certain mediums, print is very much still intact, and written content is king with print, and it's very much still the same in digital marketing online. It's just the way you use it is different.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So someone else asked, how do I know what to write about? So I'm guessing this person has an issue with actually figuring out or thinking of some topics, interesting topics to write about. And I think everyone goes through phases.
It's completely
of this.
understandable. When we try and post regularly on the site, and when it comes up to the time of needing to write an article, sometimes we struggle. We tend to come up with ideas in batches, just so that we've always got something to write about. But when you do have a title, you still do need to actually know what to write. But you know, some mistakes when I first started blogging a few years ago. I wasn't writing for the audience as much. I wasn't writing for the demand of the audience. So I was just writing about topics that I found interesting rather than actually looking at what the trends are and things like that. So, a good way to tell what the trends are is to go on a tool like BuzzSumo, for example, and type in things on your topic. So, for example, social media marketing. It'd show like a list of big. You can filter it through different size publishers, but if you look through big publishers, Social Media Examiner, etc., you can see which articles are the hottest in the industry, and then you can see how many social shares they've got and things like that. And then basically, if you want content ideas, just go through all those ones that are getting high engagement, and then if there's a blog, for example, saying 9 best social media tools, make a blog with 18 best social media tools. Just make it big and better than the competition. And you don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just look at what the industry's doing, and then take it, do it 10 times better.
And I would add to that, because again, I think we've been there with sort of those thoughts as well. A lot of people overcomplicate the idea of what to write
just
about.
Get
because
started, yeah.
I mean, what I mean is people sort of write something down and they go, oh no, that's too easy, that's too simple, that's too low level. That's not true, because if you're trying to, like, it's very difficult for us to write, to think of like a topic to do a podcast about or to do a video about in terms of social media SEO and things like that, because we think, oh no, that's too simple, because we know the lingo, we know what's going on, it's clear to us, but we people often forget that you're putting out to a different target audience, and you're actually trying to educate them. So as long as you're one step ahead of them, any info is valuable, right? So don't be afraid of putting out something that's low level or seems valueless to you, because the chances are the person at the other end reading it does not have the level of knowledge that you do. So to you it might seem like it's just takes you 30 minutes to write it, it's no biggie, but to some people it might actually bring a hell of a lot of value.
It might blow their minds.
Blow their minds, and because of it, they're going to come to you, message you to potentially show them how you do what you do, whatever it is that you do. Whether it's a service you're selling, or service you're providing, or a product you're selling, So don't be scared to just put something out there, even if you think it's basic. As long as it's not false, as long as it's not factually incorrect, there's no wrong way of doing it, basically.
Yeah,
it'll just get bigger and better.
Yeah, some of the stuff that I've learned, over the years, and I look back and compare it to what I know now, and when you first read things for the first time, it blows your mind, and if you look back on where you are in your career or business now, you'd realise how many people you're in front of, and there's people one page behind you all the time. So never be afraid to write things, even if you think it's not not the top of the pile, So just don't be afraid. The more you write and the more you get out there, the more feedback you'll get, and the better you'll start writing, and the more exposure you'll start to get. So it's just going back to the point of not being afraid of putting the content out there, and asking for feedback as well. And that's quite valuable. And then also instead of blogging as well, if you're looking to do some lead generation, then ebooks is a good option, as it can generate leads.
Another good way to get ideas for blog articles is ask people to ask you questions. The same way as we do, we ask people to ask us questions primarily for the purpose of the podcast.
Yeah.
And now we're able to put together a piece of content on the question of why do I need to blog, or what is a blog. Get people to ask you a question of what they want to know, and they will literally give you a blog title. All your job from there is just to add some value to it, add your expertise to it, and put it out. And that's coming straight from the source. It's not something you're making up. It's literally a valid question that your potentially target market is asking of you.
Yeah.
And that's a really, really good way to sort of streamline the process a bit more.
Yeah, and what I do sometimes for content ideas is use Quora. So
Quora.
If just going through one of the services that we offer. So say it's SEO, for example. You type in SEO on Quora, and then it comes up with a ton of questions that people are looking for. So what people are searching stuff like what's on page optimization, what's off page optimization. How can I undo it?
Yeah, it goes back to my point of we don't think that people might ask those questions, because to us it's clear.
Yeah. People are.
Whereas people, we just miss it because we work with that stuff every day. So
Yeah. So if you're like a dog salon or something, you know, you just type that in on Quora, and then people will be asking tons of questions like, you know, how much should it be? You know, what kind of distance should it be traveling? Whatever. I don't know. They just be asking related questions, and um, so if someone asks like a direct question, and create a blog with the title of that direct question, because then, you know, you can be shown up alongside like the likes of Quora or different forums.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
yeah, that's another little hack.
Perfect. Okay. Well, if you have any more questions, send them over. We'll link any of the stuff that we mentioned in the description.
Send a link to your blog as well. We'd be interested.
Yeah, send us a link to your blog if you want us to take a look. We can give you some. We could actually give you some content ideas if you want. If it's something outside of our general spec of knowledge, we can ask some questions that might sort of prompt you to write something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that helps. Brilliant.
Perfect. All right. See you in the next one.